You know what time it is? Boss rush time! Some of you have probably been wondering what Enzon has been up to for quite some time now. Well, while everyone's been busy with other things, Enzon's been focused on trying to determine just where the hell Regal's been hiding so they can finally bring the fight to him. But while they've searched everywhere feasible on Earth, Enzon finally realized, hey, what if he's not on Earth, but in a satellite in orbit that they already know Nebula has, thanks to all the dimension converters it launches? He correlated transactions Raoul managed to track down from the underworld markets, with them all going to and from a manned satellite, which has been receiving payloads that have been launched in ultralight capsules off of tankers that are all in Regal's name. All they need to do then is track him down, because they've lost track of said satellite's flight path since Regal cloaked it a long while back in the early side of the series. So first they have to find a way around that, which they go to see Yurichiro to see if he has a way to do so. Also giving us the first sign that Yurichiro's actually made progress in making a vaccine program that'll erase dark souls from Navis and restore their corrupted programs. And yes, Yurichiro also does have a way to get around the satellite's stealth field, and that's by shooting infrared rays into empty pockets of space, since the satellite's stealth field only really works off of visual means of tracking. After the entire orbit of everything has been mapped by those infrared rays, all it would take is sorting out the orbits of every known satellite, and the remainder would then obviously be the targets to look into. Made simpler in this respect by another old plot point. The satellite guidance system Control-X, that was previously said would be able to detect them, which is why Regal attempted to destroy it before, and the NetPlace have kept it under guard ever since. Enzon gets access to it for this task, Aneta coming by to help out, and feed him oddly looking and yet somehow delicious snacks. But with Control-X being brought out of mothballs, the NetPlace's detectives all gather, just expecting Regal and Regal to try something. Ryuk even called in to assist just to pad out their forces. But it's not like they need to worry. I mean, who does Nebula even have left? I doubt Laserman, Needleman, and Dark Blues will be able to wreck all of this before they've got the satellite pinned down. What else could he possibly have?
目覚めるがいいお前たち。復活の時は来た。再び戦慄と恐怖をもたらすため。さあ、蘇るのだ。
Oh crap. Also, again, why is Bullman there? While it was ambiguous whether Bullman was a bowling alley mascot that was forcibly infested with a dark chip or a full Darkloid, well, quite frankly, that story works better if he wasn't originally a Darkloid with regards to the longer arc of the series and just another of their victims. Still, them being assaulted by literal ghosts in the machine with this revived army pretty much puts the assembled at a massive disadvantage, as they could barely beat these guys with numbers when they were fighting solo. It's infinitely worse by them all being together. Meaning, Neto can no longer hold back. It's soul time! Yeah, it kind of becomes like shooting fish in a barrel when you're lined up like that and not holding back. Still, their sheer numbers make it so some start getting through while Rockman and Searchman are occupied. The newer soul forms allowing easier advantage against old enemies like Videoman, alongside some of them just getting sloppy like Gravity Man is. Or otherwise being useless as they always were in case of Brightman. Roll Soul is, of course, the best. Forte, however, is watching all of this for some reason, using the gospel robot to hack into the police system for his own goals, and for some reason going down to the depths of the internet while they're occupied in order to revive Shade Man. So, why? Why is a very good question to ask here. It could potentially be payback for giving Allegro the data needed to create dimension areas. Maybe Shademan contacted Forte a while back for an exchange of such. Maybe they've been in contact for a while since Shademan's own dimensional area generators were made at the former World 3 base, so you'd think Forte would have access to it. Hell, it might even tie into Forte's anime original Pharaohman backstory. The problem with it, though? They don't explain it! Still, while the souls buff Rockman's stats, the constant fighting exhausts Searchman, leaving him out of the battle and Rockman alone to fight, as a dimension area finally brings in Dark Blues. Rockman does manage to finish off the last of them with Beastman dying to Blue's soul, but with Rockman tired as well, that leaves the performance of their crossed fused form much lower than the current standard. However, it's too little too late. Enzon has succeeded in determining the orbit of Regal's satellites. And while Dark Blues does destroy Control X, Aneta, because she was assisting Enzon all this time, was able to remember the final bits of the code sequence Enzon needed to pull up the completed orbit data map of all satellites circling the Earth. Oh, Blues will report success in destroying their means of finding them, but only after it was too late. And to think, she only joined with them because they tried to use a traumatized girl as a means by which to take Blues from Enzon. Nice fixing it, villain! The wrap-up. We have Brawl for it all, for this entire episode's plot. We have Cosmic Faceplant to all the revived Darkloid navies. Yeah, their ghost data respawns and that's why they're weaker, but if you've played the games, you know that normally fighting ghost data means they're stronger, not weaker. This fits how Rockman and Netto have grown much stronger over the course of the series to be able to do this, but it's still a shock to see so many enemies that put them in deadly situations go down faster than any character that can't take a punch. This ends up feeling like Glass Jaw syndrome on a whole different tier for the Net Police's mass production navies, for them to be that useless, and then the Darkloids in turn being completely incapable of fighting back against Rockman's use of Soul Unison and Searchman's Scope Gun. And we have last minute save, for Aneta and her remembering the code sequence that gives us Regal. Not much more to say about this, as it begins the final push of the series with Regal's machinations beginning to bite him as his pawns are all gone. His hiding place has been found, and his subversion of the heroes no longer as effective with the vaccine against his dark chips being on the way. But he's not completely out of cards to play yet, as we will see next time when Netto and company chase after him out into space. How could they possibly get there, I wonder?